Excuse.
Should let them cry go on, now they all think they get over this.
Jim Reed.
Here.
Phyllis Goodover.
Here.
Michael Hampton.
Here.
Chanel McKinley. That's your right. Hi, who's on the phone? Okay, thank you. Is Chanel McKinley on the phone? Okay, thank you. Timothy O'Connor,
Here.
you have a quorum?
Good. Okay. Consent agenda.
Move to adopt.
Okay.
Motion's been made to adopt and seconded to adopt the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll move forward. Hearing from the public. Open for public comment. Jennifer.
Yeah, I would like to respectfully ask this maybe a week moving back down into Craig, or just coming in for the first time this day. I know all of you, and I think you guys know me for sure. One thing that kind of sealed the deal for me and coming to Craig and asking myself if I wanted to live in Craig if I got a job, was your pool and your workout facility up there. That kind of sealed the deal for me to like, okay, I want to come back and, stay and see how that goes. But I would like to respectfully ask the council and the city manager here if you guys would think about keeping the pool open through the weekend for maybe a few hours, Saturday and Sunday, and then even the library adding an hour to like 6 o'clock closure instead of 5.
We can consider it. We're yet to find a new librarian yet, but we have one on the hook. So,
Yeah.
and that pool administrator lady sitting behind you, hopefully she'll.
And as for the pool, I have no employees to keep it. Otherwise, as soon as I do work. No, we're normally open on Saturdays from 1 to 4.
Okay.
I don't have the employees right now. As soon as I actually have a staff, we will come back open on Saturdays, but I don't have the staff right now. So it is planning to reopen, it just isn't happening right now because I have me and one other 18-year-old. And we're only allowed 40 hours a week, so.
Is there a way we can open that weight room up and keep the pool portion locked off?
Oh, we can do it. You wanna deal with phone calls?
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it. Honest to God, fitness room on Saturdays, 3 people. I mean, we could do it. Somebody's gonna have to be there. That somebody will be me.
Well, we'll see if we can work something out.
Because somebody over 18 has to be in the building at all times.
Yeah.
By state requirements and HIPAA and all of the fun junk because of blood.
Mm-hmm.
I can train people up to wazoo, but my under 18-year-olds cannot touch bodily fluids without an 18-year-old present. So there has to be an 18-year-old, and since my other one is the swim coach, he gets his 40 hours. I need them for their 40 hours throughout the week, so it leaves me until we get one more that we've been looking for forever. It is the plan, and I can probably work it after the new year, when everybody's back from vacations and doing all of that, which was also on the agenda to do because it can be played with. But this month, absolutely not. Because I'm pretty much alone after next week. So, yeah, again.
But ready to work, you'll be all right.
I'm not gonna fly.
Okay.
Come swim for me and let's find out.
And I understand the facility closes for over the Christmas break and maybe through the summer months too. It's open.
It does not close over the Christmas break. We close for a couple of weeks in the summer for maintenance.
Thank you. That was it.
Thanks, Rudy.
Yeah.
We'll work on the library and possibly too, and we got it,
Okay.
For the recording record, Chanel.
Hi, Chanel.
Hello.
Chanel's here.
We're gonna do Tuesdays hours.
Okay, resolution 21-23, setting the fees for the non-commercial driver's license road testing. Ryan, what do you got on that?
We'll come up later on the agenda. Just public comment on the resolution.
We'll move on then. Here's from the mayor. I went to Anchorage. That was interesting. But then, that was about it.
Was that for AML?
Yeah, they didn't have a very full agenda. It was pretty much, not a whole lot going on. It's their first year, their 2 years they've been down because of COVID.
Right.
And so they really didn't have that great of an agenda going on. So I stayed 3 days and I couldn't take any road to get out of it. And that was pretty much it. Yeah. Mr. Administrator.
So I submitted a written report. I just got a couple of things I'd like to touch on from the report. The first one has to do with road use rule. In the report, I talked about the fact that the recent announcement was not a surprise, and a reminder that we're already party to litigation. Steve Silver and I talked this week, and he wanted me to reiterate or to emphasize to the council that before in the last administration, our lawsuit was supporting the administration's exemptions that had been passed, that there was a suit to overturn. But with the change of administration, the lawsuit now is a suit against the administration overturning the wilderness rules. But the end result is, of course, the same. So I'll keep the council apprised. That litigation is really just starting back up again, so there's really nothing to report other than the fact that now that the secretary has announced the start of the rule-making process to roll back those exemptions, the lawsuit now is standing to go back and forth. I'm working on some comments. There's currently an open comment period that expires here in about a month and a half. And I'll bring some comments back to the council at the January meeting for some consideration there. The ATV, UTV committee, we put out a call for public interest. That closes Monday. So I'll get from there. We had one letter of interest. Trooper Sergeant Rob Jensen was asked to be on the committee in addition to the folks that were here at the meeting that it was talked about. I'm happy to share that not only did we have a librarian on the hook, but she accepted an offer this afternoon. Patricia Gardner has been hired as the new Craig librarian, and she will start really just a couple hours a day for the next couple of weeks. I was given 2 weeks notice at her current job, so she'll be starting full-time December 16th. So I'm very excited to have Patricia up there. I think she's going to do a great job. So that's one position down off the board, and a whole bunch to go still. Let's see. That's all I got.
There's also one in the, it said you might write something by the 24th.
Yeah, I've got a note here. I don't want to step on Russell's toes. We did make an offer. We had a few applicants. There was one applicant that Russell wanted to hire out of the bunch. We made an offer and he declined it. So we're still working on that. We don't have a hire yet.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
Brian, under the burn pit, it just really disheartens me when I go out to do burnables and see metal things out there. Are the cameras still in operation?
Yeah, there's a little bit of work that needs to be done on one of them. The biggest thing that we found after this last issue was that the Public Works was not always getting notified in a timely manner when there were issues. And so I've asked the police department to put that at the top of their list when they get a complaint call about the fire, the burn pit. And I've also asked Russell and Doug Ward and his crew and the police department, that when they are out and about, if they see something at the burn pit that shouldn't be there, to notify Russell. The video is only stored for about 7 days, so we were running into problems before where they wouldn't get notified until the video wasn't available anymore. And so they've picked up the pace of doing that. Russell's trying to stop out there fairly frequently. And then I've asked several of the other departments that have folks out regularly to keep an eye and to let Russell know. And the police department has done a good job of immediately notifying Russell if there's an issue out there.
They're also being really good about helping people out there. They watch me dump all my boxes and offer to help.
So we have increased, in addition to the ordinance that RJ is working on to clarify open burning and city limits, we have kind of tightened up our surveillance of the burn pit to try and prevent some of the prohibited items from being burned out there.
Well, my greatest fear is that because of the abuse, I'm afraid it's gonna be closed off to the public. And I use that burn pit at least, I mean, I recycle everything I possibly can. I mean, even though they're not cleaning plastics, I still clean my plastics, and I know where it's going, but I'm just in the habit of doing that. And like I say, we utilize that burn pit for burnables.
Yeah, it's on my radar right now,
Okay.
pretty high, so I'll, my goal is to kind of make sure that we're surveilling it and following up, with citations when necessary, and just kind of getting a good hold on that. And I have the same interest, Millie. I think it's a good service, it's a good service that's available, and I want to keep it open, and so I'm working with the police department and public works.
Well, we used to do our burnables until we were told it was illegal to have your own burn pit within the city limits.
Well, I was even told that you couldn't even have it says backyard barbecue fire pit thing.
I've asked RJ, so I asked RJ particularly to point out, to find for me the ordinance that prohibited the open burn. And I think a lot of us have gone under the assumption for years that it was in the municipal code, but we found that it's not. So in addition to tightening down some of the burn pit stuff, RJ is working on an ordinance to specifically prohibit those open burns. And I did ask him, he's what he's doing right now is looking at some of the other municipalities' ordinances.
Okay.
And it is my goal to have a specific exemption for those little backyard burn pits.
When we put that into effect, that's the way it was put in. And the big thing is there were some responsible people who would burn just paper. There were a lot of people who would burn their plastic and their garbage along with it, and it smelled to the neighbors, so that's why the hometown burn girls went away. But we made it pretty specific when we talked about it on record that people would still have a campfire in their yard, because if you have a wood stove in your yard, how would you have a campfire in your backyard?
So the council, of course, will have opportunity to weigh in when that ordinance comes back. Of course, it will have council approval, so.
Also, I see that the city of Powahk got approval to help with their landfill. And that they are looking into barging off, they'll ask for marine line barging off waste possibly. Do you know when the city of Powahk's council meeting is? Because I'd really like to go and possibly see if they'd be interested in doing recycling too, if they're getting such a budget for upping their landfill.
I don't know what their schedule is, but I'm happy to find that out tomorrow, and I'll email out to the council and have the information. I did have a conversation, I met with Anna Guthrie this week, and landfill was one of the items on the discussion. So we talked about the baler that they're looking to buy, and the issue right now of, so they traditionally transship And at this point, it's been in open containers, open connexes. But there have been some rule changes by both the transfer site and AML that require the waste to be in closed containers now. And that requires a bailiff, so they're working through some of those issues. I know that's high on their radar, but I'll find out what their city council meeting schedule is and email out.
Thank you.
That's it for questions for you.
All the questions I have.
Yeah. Treasurer. She took
I
off.
think she was trying to, she went to make some copies.
Oh, great. Quality manager.
I didn't get a report in, as soon as I got their email, we were actually getting on the ferry, so, Chris and I just went over to Ketchikan and did 3 days of training, so when I got back, I got ahold of our Red Cross representative, and we're getting the pool back into a, Red Cross standards for learning to swim, so through the support with Red Cross, we will be reporting through Red Cross, gives us a little bit more advantages on that end. Along with, it's kind of hard to explain. Basically, we can track the kids a lot easier. They get little rewards from Red Cross. It just makes us a little bit more of an official standing. At one point in time, the pool was an LPS, but a prior manager was not, putting in the classes, so it bumped us out. And it took us a long time to get back, and like, kind of make years worth of lesson plans that we had been doing. So we will be hopefully back on track with that around February. You don't have to be an LTS facility to teach swim lessons, but this just puts us in the Red Cross's eyes again, which we're already there because of my IT certification, and so this just kind of gives us another little bump. Swim team will be in Ketchikan next weekend for the Smithers tournament, I believe is what it is. They leave Friday, come back Saturday, I think, but they're not completely sure on that. But either way, everybody's gone Friday. It will be me, so we'll be closing at 1 next Friday because it's just what it will be. What else? We're just gonna try to get through Christmas. We're not gonna close down this at all because of the way Christmas and New Year's land. There's really no reason to do it, and Chris will be gone for 2 weeks. Actually, probably maybe closer to 3 weeks. He's gonna take 2 weeks vacation to go home and then do a week training-ish type of thing in California through the swim team. So, but Lewis will be gone all next week, back for next week, and it's just this time of year. The big toy, I got the quote on shipping and I was absolutely correct, and it was $2,700 to ship it to us. But I'm still under budget with it. Right now, we're waiting to hear back from the factory because as soon as we hear from the factory, we have to do a deposit of half before they'll ship it. So as soon as she hears from the factory, I've been talking to her every day. It looks like it's a lot of fun. I want to play on it. I've never wanted to play on one of the big toys, so. I mean, this stuff hurdles. If our pool was a little bit deeper, like literally like 6 inches deeper, I could have gotten the one with a little swing on it and like he swung off at the end, but we're just not deep enough for it. Genius moments that happen between when your hair's wet or you're tired. I decided yesterday that we're gonna start planning out ripping apart the front circulation desk and replacing it with something new. I haven't gotten that far on how we're gonna do that. I talked to Doug about it today, and possibly start ripping apart the office too to kind of spruce it up and make it just less cramped in there. Eventually, when we decide to, or are able to expand the fitness room, or from what I have found, it's just as much to rebuild a whole new fitness room on the other side of the building, which is what I'm gonna push for. The whole fitness room would turn into another part of an office and a training room for us, so. But right now, we have what we have very little storage space, and so it's just a matter of shifting things around.
We're looking into getting a bid possibly on expanding to the west end.
So when we did it for the one end, just to double it, they were saying $500,000. So with $500,000 from, and I'm not a contractor, $500,000, we can double it on the other end and get all new equipment. And it, with the other things that we wanted to do with like turning it into a 24-hour fitness facility. We wouldn't have to replace the doors for the, going into the nanatorium or into the
These card
sauna.
locks is what we figured.
Yeah, but we would have to, if we did it on the end that the fitness room is on now, we'd have to do something with those doors so those weren't accessible. It's just as easy to do it on the other end, and it's actually probably easier because we wouldn't have to play with the doors on that end. And I think there's just more room on there.
We're looking into it.
Yeah, I personally, I went back there and trudged around in the gunk today because like I said, genius moments when you're tired. I had a sick baby, so no sleep. I went and trudged around back there, and to me, it just makes a lot more sense on that end. It would be out of the weather a little bit more. We maybe wouldn't have the dripping issue that we have with condensation at that end. I would like to think that we wouldn't, but because there's no heat in the fitness room. It heats when it's warm out and it's cold when it's cold out. It's just kind of how that is.
There are more likely grants available for fire and EMS for training rooms and such for keeping them at physical fit and the
Well,
police.
And that's
So we
the
can
other
get
part.
grants through them.
You know, part of it is I don't have a classroom space in that building. We do everything on the dry land, but it's really hard to do that when there's people in the water and people coming in and out. So having a training space would be just, like, that's my dream. It's just training space, honestly. But that's all, you know, thinking out loud type of thing. Swim team's still going strong. They're getting ready to, I was told to do, or told that they were gonna do some tryouts, but don't quote me on it because I'm not positive. But that's what I overheard. They're chasing a grant as well, a big equipment grant. They threw in things for the pool, like another TV for the training area, treadmill, things like that, just to try to bump their grant up a little bit more. Yeah, good.
All right, good. Thank you. Rudy,
What do you think you'll do with your old, weight system?
I have no idea until that time happens. That is not even a question I'm willing to even, yeah, not even, because it's all free weighted now. So, yeah, not even gonna approach that until that time comes, because as soon as I say that, I'm gonna have 10 people saying, but you said, so no, until there is absolutely new equipment in there and it's completely set up, not even gonna think about anything like that. So, nope. Considering that's also a 5-year, at least 5 years down the road also.
Sherry,
I've submitted a written report and I'd be happy to answer any questions, but now that she was speaking, since there's been changes, we've decided to do changes of our own. And now that Kimber is now switched back and she's now doing billing, we are also looking into revamping the front office. We feel like it needs to be more appealing when the customers and patrons come in. Make it look. So we're looking at doing flooring, which I'm more than happy to install the flooring if that's what it takes to save some money. And we're gonna do new paint and stuff like that. So there's a lot of add-ons, but we're gonna get it to look good. That dark blue.
Yeah, it's only been like, that paint is really, the usual paint. Doesn't count.
Too dark. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
A quick one, the cards or tax cards expire on December 31st.
Yes.
And the new ones aren't available till sometime in January, correct?
No, they're available on December 13th. Kimber's printed them out today, and we're getting ready for the 13th. She's sending out letters. We were hoping today, but this week we end up having computer issues from Monday until the end of the day today. But I'm just gonna have Brian look over the letter real quick to send out to vendors and to everyone, but we're planning on the 13th of this month.
Oh, okay. I thought we was gonna look at that, I was gonna just suggest that you have them expire at the end of January if you're gonna.
No, we already have people been coming in for about a month now wanting to get theirs, so that's what we'll shoot for. There'll just be Kimber in there, so
Is she sending applications out to, or do we have to download that somewhere else?
what would you suggest? Do you think if we should do applications too, we can?
If you're gonna mail stuff, if you can mail an application, it would probably help a lot of people.
Okay.
A lot of people like me don't have printers, so.
You might speed your front desk up if you have them filled up before they come in.
We've considered, and I actually talked to Angela about maybe coming in. I've been informed that the first few weeks is pretty, crazy, and they all are just in a line to pick theirs up. So I might bring Angela in to sit in here and have some people help that out, so all Kimber has to do is, take the payments. So we're considering that. You're looking like you have a question or a thought. Oh.
I just have so many concerns, it just blows my mind that we have so many vacancies.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
We're starting to fill them, but I mean, it's
Well,
like,
I've been harping on that for a while, the employee issue is huge, and it's not just Greg, I mean, it's nationwide.
right,
It's been getting worse this past year, every business is hiring.
I'm 75 and I still work.
Yeah,
Not because I have to, because I want to.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
God, I
Well,
kill somebody at home,
everybody
I
was
home
told to stay in their
24/7.
house, and now they don't wanna leave.
We've got some other things, Melody, here.
No, thank you, no, hey, cut back, remember, I'm cutting back.
Yeah, you're smiling, you're waiting for that front desk.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we do have a number of openings, and I'm working with our HR and with the departments that have openings. I'm trying to be a little more aggressive, trying to find some employees and go.
You've got an uphill battle, everybody's hiring.
Right. I was listening to the news, I don't know if it was on KRBD or if it was the TV, but Bartlett and the assisted living home right next to the Bartlett Hospital, they've had to close a wing down because they didn't have enough workers.
Wow.
Well, they were having these traveling people come in, and that's expensive. You've gotta pay a round trip ticket, you gotta pay their per diem and house them. So it's cheaper for Bartlett and the assisted living place to spend that money. They're paying for people to learn how to be a CNA. The local people, and their workforce is right there. And I guess we're gonna have to start being creative on how to get and retain people. But it just, well, true, but still.
I don't know if that'll even help.
Yeah, because I've thought about that, and if you give them even like a sign-on bonus, they'll come for that, but once that bonus is gone, what kind of employee did you just bring in?
I will say, very similar to what Bartlett and the assisted living home are doing. I've been talking to the department heads about hiring below what they're originally looking for and growing employees more into the jobs that they're needing to fill, hoping to kind of at least widen, I don't know if it will be successful, but at least widen the pool of applicants and maybe get some younger folks started on a career path. So we're looking at, I don't have any silver bullets yet for sure, but I am working with department heads and HR, and we're trying to be as creative as we can and get positions filled. I got one filled today, I'm just gonna celebrate that.
And I've even gone through the school on several different years and done lifeguarding courses with the MC class, trying to build it up. And this year, they're not even doing the MC this year, so there's no room for the lifeguarding course in it this year.
So we'll keep working on that.
So last note on that, just to give you guys a little heads up, during budget time, we are going to approach you guys about doing an HR position and separating them so HR can be its own position. So it can be able to have more time, because Pilar, it's way too much on her plate trying to do HR right now and keeping the bills on top of it. So just let you know that is coming your guys' way. Okay, I'm done.
I feel like we need to do the budget all over again. I mean, just the few minutes we've been here, it just, go with the flow.
In order to make sure that I can get through it by the deadline, I will be starting the budget process early this year.
Ready?
We're all cringing.
You don't have to do it, you just do your little.
That is not as fun as you think it is. It's not fun.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, you know, if you guys have to start advertising off the island or even Anchorage, Seattle area, and having applicants come in that wanna work, one thing that was difficult for me, just even moving in town, was finding housing.
Yeah.
So, you know, that would make it easier, short-term, long-term, to have, you know, more housing in Craig, or even on the island in general.
We're working on that all the time too. John T's working on housing and TTA is working on housing at this point. We've only got 1 or 2 contractors in town that do construction, so they're shorthanded. Everybody's got the same issues, so. Anyway, pretty much it. So, Gary, you got any more?
What?
You have any more?
I'm good.
Done, all right, thanks. Okay, city clerk.
Christopher Mayor, council, when the staff report was done, was prior, to this meeting. And the next normally scheduled meeting would be December 16th. My understanding is that you may look at it now to accommodate the second reading of the possible ordinance. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I was also asked to let the council know about a Christmas party, December 11th at 6:30 in the gym. And I believe Sherry knows a little bit more about that, but I agreed to put that out there.
So, Mr. Mayor and council, like Tracy said, the December 16th would be the next regular scheduled council meeting. The middle high school concert is that night, so some of the council members, so it's unlikely that we'll have it that night. In order to, the ATV, UTV ordinance. On the phone?
Thank you.
The ATV, UTV ordinance, if we don't pass an ordinance before January 1st, the state rules go into effect, so we should have a meeting, a second meeting in December, at least for the council to consider that, so is there another day that week?
I thought we voted for no meeting and a special meeting, and we
Right.
just call one for the ordinance.
And we will need to
Okay.
call one, so what I'm looking for right now is, a date and time that the council would like to get together for that meeting.
Is there a date and time everybody could meet, like at 4 or 4:30 in the afternoon? This is only gonna take,
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Or even a lunch, or a lunch.
On what day?
for any day you want. It's fine.
Tuesday or Wednesday are best for me.
When are we talking, the 13th, 14th, or
I can work this line.
14th, 15th, yeah?
Or next week. There's no requirement after the first reading to the second reading, right?
No.
Just get it over with. whatever.
So,
I'm good anytime, but you guys, I was just saying it'd be nice to have, everybody doesn't have to come after dinner, doesn't have to have employees out late, if people have time to do this, let's do it at 4 o'clock for 5 minutes, or 4:30 for 5 minutes.
with Wednesday, the 14th, that would be,
You mean Tuesday the 14th? Wednesday's the 15th.
or Wednesday, the 15th.
I think I travel that day.
What's that?
I think I travel that day.
Tuesday, the 14th?
Uh-huh.
Are you available Wednesday?
No, I'm gonna be gone. I'll return on the 18th.
I'll be gone all that week, but I mean, we're talking about if I got a meeting, I can call in and, or if you got 4 people here, I mean, we're gonna pass this, I don't have to be here either.
That's fine, if people are available next week, let's just do it. What's the dates next week?
7th and 8th. Tuesday's the 7th, Wednesday's the 8th.
Either one of those days work right now for me. It
Yeah.
works good for
I
me.
can't do Tuesday. Wednesday the 8th then?
Tuesday,
Wednesday, the 8th?
At what time are you saying?
You can do it 4:30 or 4 o'clock.
It'll take for me, but I should be back by then.
It's done at 3:30, so.
Okay, I'll, have Tracy post a notice for a special meeting on Wednesday, December 8th at 4:30 PM.
Perfect.
Then it's got
okay. What's that? Yeah. No, oh. Okay,
yeah, I don't have anyone to report as a city planner, except I
yeah,
managed to actually sit in that office at least once this week, so.
yeah. Fire and EMS coordinator, Minnie, are you on the phone?
She's been particularly busy with the mayor, so.
She is. See ya.
Good thing we're skinny, Mike. So, Mr. Mayor, under city planner, I know they were having meetings. You don't have anything pressing this month?
I do not.
Okay, good. Wonderful.
Yeah. Brian said Minnie's been tied up with issues with her mother, maybe taking a turn for the worse, so,
Yeah, today was a rough day, so they really didn't expect me to
no.
call me.
And Mr. Mayor, she did submit her written report.
Did she?
Yeah, she did, yeah, the senior pack.
Okay, harbor manager.
Mr. Mayor, I submitted a written report, but would be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any.
Any questions?
You know what, I could actually add, we're gonna, probably take the machine down the beginning of next week and start doing some work on it. And then our painter will be here the following week. We're hiring he's the Tyler Rentals painter, and he's got a business license to do the paint job on our boat hauling trailer. So he's gonna use vacation leave and come over here from Ketchikan and put a real good coat of paint on. We're gonna be his grunt labor and get it all prepped and ready and stuff. But we also have some maintenance work we're gonna be doing to it, well, before he gets here to the front end, so.
And we are gonna proceed shutting down the ice house here
Yeah.
pretty quick, so. You need ice, Mike, you better go get it.
I just shoveled a whole bunch
Okay.
outside.
Yeah, right, me too.
Are we going to store a bunch of coats, or what's gonna happen?
Our use in the wintertime is so low, Jim, that I don't know. They can get ice from Phillips, if they have to fish. I'm gonna offer some of the ice to Kenny, but he hasn't been buying anything that I know of. So.
It was maybe then, always been fishing.
You can't get out the door.
But, we just, historically, we lose so much money every month in the wintertime. We lose $3,500 to $4,500 in utilities every month through the winter. And we don't start selling ice till March, really. So,
They better scoop some snow and fill their holes.
We used to go get crab bay ice.
We grab it, froze over.
Used to freeze over every year.
Yeah. Okay. Library, do we have one?
I don't have no, just as I said, we hired a new librarian. I do wanna commend the part-time staff who have kept the library open regular hours, in the absence of the librarian, so it's been a good job.
I was there today, which was really nice.
Yeah, doing a great job.
Police chief, RJ.
Yeah, I sent a report, a couple of things, we were supposed to have some major upgrades with our Aspen terminals, Elvin terminal. Aspen is we use for the criminal side, Elvin is for the operations of the DMV portion. Wheelwood, all the people that were supposed to come in didn't come in. So all the prep work I did before I left, with no avail. But, once probably be another 2-3 weeks, more than likely, probably not into the new year, would be my guess. I don't think they're gonna want to travel just before Christmas. I do have, all of our new, equipment in to replace our old sailing, video audio system inside the police department, done. I've met with him a couple times. I'm currently at the Anchorage, and we'll be attending meetings starting tomorrow, all the way through next week. When I get back, depending on how much prep work Doug has been able to do in my absence, I hope to have it up and running and used prior to the new year. Shouldn't take all that long, it's just gonna be a matter of getting the cable out, restringing the new cable in. Other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for RJ? Thank you, RJ. Public Works.
I've submitted a written report, I'd be happy to answer any questions that anybody has.
Somebody have questions for Russell? Okay. Thank you, Russell. Recreation.
Well, I submitted a report, but things have increased. We had a great bazaar. We're gonna have another one on the 11th. It was really nice. People seemed really, really happy. On this Saturday, December 4th at 4, we're gonna light the tree outside of the Hill Bar. You guys can carry a tune or not, you can come and sing really loudly and joyfully. We're gonna have some Christmas carols being sung, get the season started. And then the following week, we're gonna have another bazaar, which we have different vendors and some of the same. And after that, we're gonna have a fantastic party. And that's gonna be for the staff and for the volunteers. So we're gonna send out little invitations, and I need RSVPs and what kind of pizza you like, or you love. So if we give you good kind of pizza, we'll order a bunch. And we're gonna have some games and fun, some ping pong, some cornhole. I'm even gonna set up the Wii bowling in the corner, see if Brian can beat me. And hula hoops too, just in case, really get ready. So, everyone, it'd be great to come. It's gonna be like, nobody wanted to cook. It's gonna be the end of the bazaar. I'm gonna be dressed like Mrs. Santa Claus and looking normal, so it's gonna be great. I wanna invite you all and, let me know if you're coming with a +1, let all your staff know, and we're gonna celebrate.
I'll be wearing the loudest Christmas jacket ever in existence, so
Yeah.
y'all need to show up just to see that, I'm telling you.
Yeah, that was part of the deal. I'm gonna dress like Mrs. Santa Claus and just gonna wear this really fantastic jacket. You look very sharp. In fact, I think, Julie, I think your husband had a similar.
The idea is pretty long.
So, yeah, we can make it a trend.
You can't miss it.
We'll try to do like there's a Secret Santa thing going on, but we'll also try to do some, goofy gift exchanges and stuff too. So bring something that you think would be funny for someone else to get. We're just gonna have fun. So that's my report. And on the table, there was everyone got an island post because Katrina PD was on the front. And I'm actually in black and white the next page. And we had some great cleanups. It worked out really, really well. I was really gonna miss her. We hope to bring her back for the centennial celebration. She worked so hard with the documentary, the little film we did, and I interviewed Doug Rhodes today. He and Ralph are doing bookend history nights. The first one will be on the Sunday before the 27th of February. We're gonna have an afternoon potluck at the Hill Bar, and at the end, we're gonna have one at TK's and the Craigian with Doug Rhodes is gonna be hosting that one. We're gonna have a fabulous time. We're gonna have fireworks whenever there's a nice night, which if we've got like 10 days, we might get one. We can hope. So, share your memories, any suggestions, anything, let me know. Any questions?
Well, Victoria, I'm sorry I'm going to miss the party, but I'm gonna be timing at the swim meet in Ketchikan that weekend, but please take pictures.
We will, it will really be fun, so, and good luck at the swim meet. And the Craig girls are in Anchorage at the volleyball tournament. They were, the other Bengal team had to forfeit due to green six. But it was the getting in there, it was really a close game. They only lost by 1 point at the very end, so I think they'll do fine, so. Anyway, happy holidays.
Is there gonna be a limited boothing again at this bazaar?
Limited what?
Limited boothing, like booths, they were spaced out this last time?
And they will be spaced out this time as well.
Okay.
I fit everybody that wanted to have a booth in, no one was turned away.
Yeah.
But a lot of people and a lot of my usual vendors are choosing not to participate. So, yeah, everyone seemed really happy. And
I was at the pharmacy from 12 to 2, and everybody that was coming in was really happy with the bazaar. Everybody that people were talking about were really happy about it.
yeah, it worked out really well, yeah. So, we'll see you all there. See you at the tree, and bring your good singing voices, because I don't have one to bring.
Thank you for
Oh, we also have basketball on Wednesday nights and Sunday and Monday at 6, so the gym is rocking, lots of stuff going on.
great.
Now I'll sit up and I'll be here.
Okay, parks and public facilities.
Last year, Mayor, council members, I did not submit a written report. I was on PTO for several weeks. Not a whole lot to the report, but continuing the daily battle. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer any.
Any questions for Doug? None? You trimmed Terry's beard yet, Doug?
I don't think you're allowed to ask that.
Sorry about that, Terry. Not really. Okay, reading correspondence. Alaska Daily News opinion to reduce bycatch on the trawl fleet. How'd that go, Mike?
Good. There was already a lot going on, and that added to the momentum. Jonathan was here, I know we talked to Brian, I had a good conversation with him about it. There's a lot more going on, and there's more to come. So, there's The Pacific Fisheries Management Council is meeting this coming week. And they have a number of things to consider, but one of them is abundance-based management of halibut, which means that they're gonna have to start, instead of having a number, a really high number, they're gonna have to work within their abundance-based quota system like everybody else does, and that can fluctuate up or down depending on the stock assessment. And they've never had to do that before. You know, they just have this really high number and they catch whatever they catch, and it's just everybody else suffers. So this coming week, that will be one of the things that they will be considering, and there's a lot of eyes on them to finally move to an abundance-based management system. So we'll see what happens.
At least we're getting their attention.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Okay, October 31st, 2021, the Alaska Permanent Capital Management Statement. Everybody see that?
So, Mr. Mayor, I was asked to kind of ask the question. So the statement is this thick, and most of it is all of the details that, I'm like John, I go online, I look at the front page every couple of days just for fun. To make the package a little bit thinner, the question was asked whether the council prefers all of the details or mainly just the cover page in the packets. Happy to make all the details available, but if, for the packet's sake, if you're just looking for the cover page, we're happy to start doing that.
I think the cover page is fine, but then the other is always available.
Yeah.
It's just like, we no longer, we used to give the check report.
Yeah.
Every meeting, so you could see every single check, well, nobody's requested that in a while, but if you wanna see it, you just get to go on and see what she's paying. You get to look at every check, because that's part of our job, is to look at those things once in a while. And that cut down on our paperwork a lot, so it wouldn't hurt anything to cut that one down too.
All right, just let me know if
That's my
there's
opinion.
Those are the
I agree.
iPads were there.
if you ever want to see the very details, just let me know.
Sounds good. Biden officials to propose restoring the roadless rule on Alaska's Tongass National Forest. What do you know about that, Brian?
This is just a news article that Steve Silver sent me. It's really just kind of a recap of what we already know, which is under the Trump administration, most of the roadless rules for the Tongass were rolled back. Recently, the Secretary of the Department of Agriculture announced that the administration is looking to repeal that rollback and reinstitute the roadless rules in Alaska. Talk a little bit about the fact that we're part of the litigation, and Steve Silver and I have already talked, I think, 3 or 4 times this week about this particular issue, so I'll keep the council in the loop as it goes forward. Right now, we're waiting for the court for the lawsuit to weigh in, and then the comment period for the rule.
In the meantime, the Forest Service says nothing.
Well, the Forest Service really can't change policy until the rule takes effect, and so it's open for comment right now for the next month and a half, and then it still has to go through a process of the rule getting instituted. So the Forest Service, politically, they're going to remain silent. They're not going to take a side. They're going to follow the instructions that are given them by the administration.
Okay. November 18th, 2021, press release for Governor Dunleavy's forms. Task Force to review the bycatch. Everybody read that? Pretty interesting. Hopefully it does something. Any discussion on that?
It's, most people think it's he's preening.
He's what?
Preening. Looking good.
I will share that Representative Price Tompkins was in town the week before last. I sat down with him for a while, and this is one of the issues that we talked about. He said some changes to the bycatch rules have broad bipartisan support in the legislature. but it doesn't necessarily match up with the governor's viewpoint, but, the governor has put this, bycatch committee together, so we'll see what the result of that is. I think it's still soliciting members at this point, so the bycatch committee hasn't done anything substantial.
On paper, it doesn't look too bad, it just depends on what they end up doing. At least he's keeping it open too. I don't wanna see who ends up getting appointed to all those positions, that's gonna be a big thing.
Yeah, at least there's a nice broad, the positions are very specific, and there's a nice broad representation that leaves open the possibility for affected fisheries to be well represented on the committee.
It's on everybody's radar, even at the conference, they and Mel, they were discussing it. And, our past governor was there, and the Democrat that's gonna be running, Walker. And so they were even talking about it. So everybody in the state's pretty aware of it.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have to act, just between Lang and him, and they're both dragging their feet, that they both got caught, so now they have to move.
It's up front and a hot button issue in the legislature.
Very hot button.
Jonathan told me across the aisle, so there's broad support for some changes to the bycatch rule, so the governor's gonna get pressure from the legislature as well.
There was considerable discussion up there about it, so, on the side as well as in the meetings. Anyway. Okay, any more questions on that? We'll move on to resolution 21-23, setting the fees for non-commercial driver's license road testing. Is that set by the state, or do we set that? Because our officers are training.
And we get to set it, or it's what he has.
It's entirely up to us on how much we want to set for that particular fee.
Okay. Did you have something in mind?
Says 25.
Yeah.
Well, I think with the city credit card for 16 years, it's always been $15 for a Class D road test, which I think is extremely low. But what brought this up was with our contract renegotiations with DMV, is I had to have something in writing that outlines and establishes what we are going to charge. Kind of like what we did for the CDL stuff, so that's why this is before the council now. And I think $25 is very, very reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's more than reasonable. Now, do we get to keep 100% of this now, RJ?
Yes, we get 100% of this particular fee.
Okay. But if wages were to go up next year or so, it probably wouldn't hurt us any to bump this to $30 right now, right? $50 has
So
to.
I think that, a progressive scale going up as everything else goes up cost-wise, I don't see why they shouldn't go up to match it.
I'm more in favor of going to, if 25 just barely covers our costs, we should go to 30 because we're gonna end up with the inflation this year, and it's time this budget cycle to not do bonuses, it's time to do raises. To let these people keep up with the world, so I think we should start it at 30, and it's a resolution so we can up it every year if we choose to, so.
Now, that road test, time is approximately 30 minutes, RJ, is that correct?
Well, it's like 15-20 minutes, but then you have to add in additional time for the vehicle inspection, the verification of all the documentation, insurance, and if the person passes, then, because with the whole COVID thing, it's basically 1 hour to do one road test, is what it's taking my staff at this present time. So it's gonna be $25 for that hour. I mean, we're still losing money, but I thought that, if we're gonna do 15 and we jump to 20, I'm not opposed to jumping into 30 tonight. I still think that's fair and reasonable. And with Ketchikan being short-staffed and their DMV being closed for as long as it was, we could get people from Metlick, Ketchikan, people from here who are coming down to do road tests. So we're pretty much getting maxed out every week, and we're only able to do it once a week because of the COVID restrictions as well.
Okay. I suggest we jump this to $40 because, if you got a man here for an hour,
Yeah, did they really do all the, do you
And our
really do
cost-
all that?
Mhm.
All the,
Our cost of a person to be there for a full hour is gotta be right at $50, $40 to $50.
It's probably even higher than that when you throw in.
Yeah, I think it would be, when you throw in the PERS and all the benefits and everything else, you're looking at $60, but
Our DMV person is paid 15 hours?
no.
The-
You're talking about all the
You have
taxes.
wages, and then you have social security match, and then you have
PERS.
PERS match, and your insurance.
If you pay somebody $25 an hour, it costs you 50, 55. You should know that. So
it's not quite as horrendous in private sector, but it is.
it's pretty radical, so it isn't, I know logging, I know it's that cost, that, because our comp rates are higher.
So what figure are we looking at? Are we looking at 40 or 50?
I prefer to look at 40, that's fair at this point, not that great of a jump in increase, and we'll recover most of it. We'll still be losing maybe $10, and we can look at this again in 6 months and see where we're at, unless you feel that we need to go to 50 right now. It wouldn't bother me to go to 50, but
I'm also thinking about all those young kids that are
trying to get into the business.
trying to learn, getting their driver's thing and paying for it out of pocket and saving and stuff like that. Plus they have to pay for their new license and the time, trying to get out of school to do it and stuff, so. But I understand that people are coming from other places.
You're getting a permit, there's no extra additional cost or anything of that. The only thing that the Class D license is where the actual road test comes into play.
So, but
I'm comfortable with 40, I think that's reasonable, kind of middle of the road right now.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll go for 40.
let's go for 40, RJ, okay?
I make a motion, Mr. Mayor, that we adopt
And we'll let
resolution
that know.
number 2123, RJ.
If you would add to your motion at the rate that you want to set it.
As amended? Can I just say as amended?
As amended at $40.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call. Sorry.
Nellie Skinner.
Yes.
Michael Tremblay.
Yes.
Julie McDonald.
Yes.
Chanel McKinley.
Yes.
Jim Dean.
Yes.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, RJ.
No problem, thank you.
Okay. Unfinished business, consideration of the draft public health lease.
Move to direct staff to execute the lease of public health for space at Craig Healthcare Clinic.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to what with it, consider.
You got all the paperwork already on here.
Yeah.
To go ahead and let them do the lease.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and, yeah, do the lease on that work. Want to discuss it?
Standard lease, it's the same lease we've been, had with public health essentially since the 90s. Happy to answer any questions.
No questions.
I have a question. Did we address the, we did do the first reading, right? On the moratorium on the vehicle. Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yeah. So is that a roll call or? There's no further discussion? Okay. Roll call, please.
Nellie Skinner.
Yes.
Michael Tremblay.
Yes.
Julie McDonald.
Yes.
Chanel McKinley.
Yes.
Jim Dean.
Yes.
Thank you, council.
Seeing no new business, we'll move on to council comments.
I think Jan needs recognition, so on the, I don't know if it's just something that was spoken before, but she got a reward from the state for doing all the work with veterans, and I saw her in the store today, and want to bring it up in the public meeting. She does a lot of work with veterans, and
Yeah, she does.
she deserves to have more, and I gave her one personally today in the grocery store. I think it's worth mentioning.
I know what the word was.
Is it in this
No,
one?
it was a previous
It was
one.
in the previous one? Yeah.
Thank you.
Just for doing lots and lots of work with the veterans.
I'd be happy to draft a letter for the mayor to sign.
Yeah.
That would be appropriate.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
actually, we could all sign it at our meeting,
Yeah.
whatever day, like
Yeah.
7.
Draft it.
It's in my phone.
8 at 4:30.
I'll draft it to the mayor too, and we'll have a letter ready next week.
Any more comments?
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yeah.
Someone told me to stand in the office and watch dollar signs float down this time of year. And, I never appreciated that until this week.
Second.
Motion's been made to adjourn, all in favor?
All right.
We're out of here.
Thank you.
Hi.